Hi, hello, this is Giri teaching 10th Mathematics, the chapter Real Numbers. Questions and solutions from exercises 1.1 and 1.2. Here is the exercise 1.1. Look at question number 1. Use Euclid's division algorithm to find the HCF of 900 and 270, and the third bit is 1651 and 2032. I shall repeat. Use Euclid's division algorithm to find the HCF of 900 and 270, and the third bit 1651 and 2032. Here is the solution. By using Euclid's division lemma, 900 is greater than 270. Therefore, you can write 900 is equal to 270 into 3 plus 90. If we divide 900 with 270, this 270 900 3 times and the remainder is 90. Therefore, by using Euclid's division lemma, 900 is 270 into 3 plus 90. Here what is the remainder? Remainder is 90 and is not equal to 0. Since the remainder is not equal to 0, now let us apply again the Euclid's division lemma to 270 and 90 now. By applying Euclid's division lemma to 270 and 90, this 270 is equal to, now 90 into 273 times, that is 90 into 3 plus 0. What is 3 90s? 270. Therefore, the remainder is 0. Since the remainder is 0, therefore, the HCF of both the numbers 900 and 270 is 90. And the third bit now. By using Euclid's division lemma, let us find the HCF of 1651 and 2032. 2032 is greater than 1651. If we divide 2032 with 1651, this 1651 2032 one time and the remainder is 381. If you have any confusion, you may do this revision in rough work, and so that you can write 2032 is 1651 into 1 plus 381. Here the remainder is 381, which is not 0. Now, what is the quotient and what is the remainder? The quotient is 1651 and the remainder is 381. Now if you apply Euclid's division lemma to 1651 and 381, then 1651 is equal to 381 and 1651 4 times. Therefore 381 into 4 plus the remainder is 127. Here what is the remainder? Okay, the remainder is 127. Is it 0? No, it is not 0. Again we have to do the same method for the quotient and remainder now. In the second case, what is the quotient and remainder? The quotient is 381 and the remainder is 127. Now again apply Euclid's division lemma to 381 and 127. Then 381 is equal to 127 into 3 plus remainder is 0. Here the remainder is 0. If the remainder is 0, then what is the quotient? At the remainder 0, the quotient is 127. Therefore, the HCF of the given numbers 1651 and 2032 is 127. Now, let us see the question number 2. Use Euclid's division lemma to show that any positive odd integer is of the form 6q plus 1 or 6q plus 3 or 6q plus 5, where q is some integer. I shall repeat. Use Euclid's division lemma to show that any positive odd integer is of the form 6q plus 1 or 6q plus 3 or 6q plus 5, where q is some integer. Here is the solution. Let us assume that a be a positive odd integer. then you can apply Euclid's division lemma with A. Here A is equal to, we have to prove that A is either 6q plus 1 or A is either 6q plus 3 or A is either 6q plus 5. This is in the form of A is equal to BQ plus R. In this case, what is B? B is equal to 6. A is equal to 6q plus 1, A is equal to 6q plus 3, A is equal to 6q plus 5. Therefore, in the place of B we have 6. You write the same, B is equal to 6. That is, the quotient is 6. Since the quotient is 6, then what are the possible remainders? Remainder should be either 0 or less than 6. If we divide any number with 6, then you will get the remainder either 0 or the remainder may be 1 or the remainder may be 2, 3, 4, 5. But the remainder may not be 6 if you divide with 6. And the remainder may not be 7 or the remainder may not be 8 if you divide with 6. Therefore, the remainder should be either 0 or less than 6. Therefore, what are the values of 0 or less than 6? Here the remainders are either 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5. Here A is equal to BQ plus R. Here R is, if R is 0, then A is BQ, that is 6Q only. If R is 1, BQ plus R means 6Q plus 1. If R is 2, BQ plus 2. If the remainder is 3, 6Q plus 3. If the remainder is 4, 6Q plus 4. If the remainder is 5, then A value may be 6Q plus 5. Here, what is given? A is an odd positive integer. Since A is an odd positive integer, it should not be divisible by 2. But 6Q is divisible by 2. Therefore, 6Q is not of the form. And again 6Q plus 2 is divisible by 2. Again it is not our required number. And 6Q plus 4 is also divisible by 2. Therefore, since A is an odd positive integer, it may not be of the form 6Q or 6Q plus 2 or 6Q plus 4. If we remove these 6Q, 6Q plus 2 and 6Q plus 4 from these different types of numbers, therefore it is of the form 6Q plus 1, 6Q plus 3 and 6Q plus 5. Now question number 3. Use Euclid's division lemma to show that the square of the positive integer is of the form 3p or 3p plus 1. I shall repeat. Use Euclid's division lemma to show that the square of a positive integer is of the form 3p or 3p plus 1. Here is the solution. Again, let A be a positive integer and let us apply division algorithm with A. Here you have to prove that A is equal to either 3p or 3p plus 1, which is in the form of BQ plus R. 3p plus 1 is A, which is BQ plus R, and 3p is A, that which is in the form of BQ plus R. Therefore, B is equal to 3. Here 3p plus 1 is BQ plus R. Therefore, B is equal to 3. If B is equal to 3, then the quotient is 3. If the quotient is 3, then the possible remainder should be 0, 1 and 2. If we divide any number with 3, then the remainder may be 0 or the remainder may be less than 3. That is, the remainders may be either 0 or 1 or 2. If the remainder is 0, then A is equal to 3Q. If the remainder is 1, A is equal to 3Q plus 1. And if the remainder is 2, then A is equal to 3Q plus 2. Now case 1. If A is equal to 3Q, we have to find the square of the integer, that is 3Q whole square. 3Q whole square is 3 square into Q square. 3 square is 9Q square. You can write this 9Q square as 3 into 3Q square. Now if we assume whole this 3Q square is P, then this is in the form of 3 into P. Clear? Now case 2. Here case 2 means here a is equal to 3q plus 1. Now we have to find the square. Square means a square is equal to 3q plus 1 whole square, which is in the form of a plus b whole square. A square 3q whole square plus 2ab. 2 into 3q into 1, 3 into 2 is 6 cube into 1 is 6 cube plus b square is 1 square. Now from the first two terms you can take 3 common, that is 3 into this 3 in 9 3 times 3q square plus this 3 in 6 2 times 2q plus 1 is separate. Now if we assume that 3q square plus 2q is p, then this is in the form of 3 into p plus 1, 3p plus 1. Now the third case, if a is equal to 3q plus 2, then a square means 3q plus 2 whole square, which is in the form of a plus b whole square. A square means 9q square plus 2ab. 2 into 3q into 2, 3 2 6, 6 2 is 12q plus b square, 2 square is 4. Now you write this 4 as 3 plus 1 and take 3 common now. If you take 3 common, then this is 3q square. If you take 3 common in 12q, then it will be 4q. If you take 3 common from 3 plus 1, then you may take 1 and 1 is separate. You write this 4 as 3 plus 1 and from the 3 you take 3 common, then you may get plus 1 inside. And separately 1 is there, therefore this is plus 1. Again, if you assume that 3q square plus 4q plus 1 is p, then whole this is in the form of 3p plus 1. Therefore, in all the 3 cases, the square of this integer a square is in the form of either 3p or 3p plus 1. You see, the square of positive integer is in the form 3p or 3p plus 1. Now, question number 5. Show that one and only one out of n plus 2 or n plus 4 is divisible by 3, where n is a positive integer. I shall repeat. Show that one and only one out of n plus 2 or n plus 4 is divisible by 3, where n is a positive integer. Here is the solution. Let n be any positive integer. If n is a positive integer, then you can apply Euclid's division lemma. That is, you may take that n as bq plus r. Here, what is the actual Euclid's division lemma? A is equal to bq plus r. Here it should be divisible by 3. Since it is divisible by 3, the quotient is 3, that is b is equal to 3. If b is equal to 3, then you can write n value as 3q plus r. Here the quotient is 3. Since the quotient is 3, the r value should be either 0 or 1 or 2. Here n is equal to 3q plus r. Since this is 3, since the quotient is 3, the remainder should be greater than or equal to 0 but less than 3. Therefore, the values of the different remainders are either 0 or 1 or 2. Case 1. If r is equal to 0, if r is equal to 0, then n is equal to 3q plus 0 is 3q. n is equal to 3q. Since n is equal to 3q, it is divisible by 3. Now, then n plus 2, second value is n plus 2. n plus 2 means 3q plus 2. Since plus 2 is there, it is not divisible by 3. And the third value is n plus 4. n plus 4 means 3q plus 4. Since it is 4, it is also not divisible by 3. Therefore, in the first case, when r is equal to 0, out of n, n plus 2 and n plus 4, only n is divisible by 3. Only one value is divisible by 3. And the second case now. Second case means second value of r, that is r is equal to 1. Consider r is equal to 1. If r is equal to 1, then n is equal to 3q plus r, 3q plus 1. Since it is 3q plus 1, this 1 is not divisible by 3, therefore it is not divisible by 3. And then n plus 2. n plus 2 means 3q plus 1 n value plus 2. 3q plus 1 plus 2 is 3. This is divisible by 3 and this is also divisible by 3. Therefore, in total it is divisible by 3. And the third value is n plus 4. that is 3q plus 1 plus 4, that is 3q plus 1 plus 4 is 5. Since it is plus 5, it is not divisible by 3. Again, when r is equal to 1, out of n plus 2 and n plus 4, only one value is divisible by 3. And the third case means third value of r, that is 2. Consider r is equal to 2. If r is equal to 2, then n is equal to 3q plus 2. Now if you verify, 3q is divisible by 3 but 2 is not divisible by 3. Therefore in total this n value is not divisible by 3. Then the second value, n plus 2. N plus 2 means n value is 3q plus 2 plus this plus 2. This is 3q plus 2 plus 2 is 4. Here 3q is divisible by 3 but 4 is not divisible by 3. Therefore in total this n plus 2 is not divisible by 3. And next value is n plus 4. N value is 3q plus 2 plus 4. This is 3q plus 2 plus 4 is 6. 3q is divisible by 3 and 6 is also divisible by 3. Therefore in total this n plus 4 is divisible by 3. Therefore when r is equal to 0, out of n plus 2 and n plus 4, this is not divisible by 3, this is not divisible by 3, this is divisible by 3. Therefore only one of n plus 2 and n plus 4 is divisible by 3. Therefore in all the three cases, in case 1, case 2 and case 3, out of n plus 2 and n plus 4, only one value, here n value, here n plus 2 value and here n plus 4 value. Only one out of n plus 2 and n plus 4 is divisible by 3. Now exercise 1.2. Here is question number 1. Express each of the following numbers as a product of its prime numbers. Express each of the following numbers as a product of its prime numbers. Here is the first bit 140, second number is 156, third number is 3825, fourth bit 5005 and fifth bit 7429. Let us solve the first bit now. We have to express 140 as the product of prime numbers. If you look at 140, you can find 0 in units place, therefore it is divisible by 2. So you can write 140 as 2 into 70. Again 70 is divisible by 2. Therefore, first of all, you write this 2 and later 70 as 2 into 35. Now 35 is not divisible by 2. Is it divisible by 3? No. Then this is divisible by 5. First of all, you write 2 into 2. Later 35 can be written as 5 into 7. Therefore in total 140 can be written as 2 into 2, that is 2 square into 5 into 7. Now we will solve another bit, that is 156. Second bit is 156. Since the units place is 6, it is divisible by 2. 2 into 78. Write this first 2. 2 into 78 39 times, therefore it is 2 into 2 into 39. Now 39 is not divisible by 2 but it is divisible by 3. 3 in 39 13 times. Now 2 into 2 is 2 square into 3 into 13. And another bit. Let us solve fourth bit now. 5005. 5005. Since the units place is not an even number, it is not divisible by 2. If we add, you will get 10, which is also not divisible by 3. Since you can find 5 units place, it is divisible by 5, we know. Therefore, this is 5 into 1001. Again, this 1001 is divisible by 7. Therefore, 5 into 7 into 143. This 143 is divisible by 11. Therefore, this is 5 into 7 into 11 into 13. This is how you can divide any number as prime factors. Now question number 2. Find the LCM and HCF of the following numbers by prime factorization method. I shall repeat. Find the LCM and HCF the following numbers by prime factorization method. Here is the first bit 12, 15, 21, second bit 17, 23, 29, third bit 8, 9 and 25, and fourth bit 72 and 108. And we may solve 2 bits in this solution now. First bit is 12, 15, 21. First of all, we divide 12 as prime factors. 12 is 2 into 6. 6 is 2 into 3. Therefore, in total 12 is 2 into 2 into 3. And 15. 15 is 3 into 5. And 21. 21 is 3 into 7. Now let us find HCF first of all. How to find HCF? HCF is the product of all common factors with their least exponents. First of all, write the common factors from all the 3 values. From all the 3 numbers, what are the common factors? Here 2 is a factor of 12, but you cannot find 2 in 15, therefore leave it. Here 3 is a factor of 12, 3 is also a factor of 15, and 3 is also a factor of 21, therefore you write 3. And there is no other common factor, therefore HCF of 12, 15 and 21 is 3. HCF is the product of common factors with their least exponents. Next, let us find LCM. In order to find LCM, list out all the factors. The factors of 12, 2 into 2. You write it. Here 1, 3. Here also 1, 3. Here also 1, 3. You write the 3. Here 5. Different factor is 5. Here the different factor is 7. You write all the different factors. And then you multiply now. 2 2s 4. 4 3s 12. 12 5s 60. And 67 is 420. Therefore, LCM is the product of all factors with their highest exponents. And the second bit. We will solve the fourth bit now. 72 and 108. 72. Let us divide 72 into prime factors. 2 in 72, 36 times. And again 2 in 36, 18 times. And again 2 in 18, 9 times. And now this 9 can be written as 3 into 3. Now 2 into 2 into 2 is 2 cube into 3 square. And again 108. 2 in 108, 54 times. And 2 in 54, 27 times. And 3 in 27, 9 times. And 3 in 9, 3 times. Therefore, this is 2 into 2, 2 square. 3 into 3 into 3, 3 cube. You wrote 72 as 2 cube into 3 square. And 108 as 2 square into 3 cube. And let us find HCF. HCF is the product of common factors with least exponents. Now you observe the factors of 72 and 108. Here 72 factors 2 and 3. Here also 108 factors 2 and 3. Therefore the common factors are 2 and 3. Next, least exponents. Out of 2 cube and 2 square, the least exponent is 2. Therefore we write 2 square. Out of 3 square and 3 cube, the least exponent is 2. Therefore you write 3. Therefore you write 3 square. Now 2 square is 4 and 3 square is 9. 4 into 9 is 36. Therefore HCF of 72 and 108 is 36, where HCF is the product of common factors with their least exponents. Next, LCM. In order to write LCM, LCM is the product of all factors with their highest exponents. Again, here the factors are 2 and 3. Here also factors are 2 and 3. Therefore, write 2 and 3 first of all. Then what about the exponents? Here the exponent of 2 is 3. Here the exponent of 2 is 2. The highest exponent is 3. Therefore, we write 2 cube. And this is 3 square and this is 3 cube. Highest exponent is 3 cube. We write 3 cube. 2 cube is 8. 3 cube is 27. And 8 27s is 216. Therefore, LCM is the product of all factors with their highest exponents. Now, question number 3. Check whether 6 power n can end with the digit 0 for any natural number n. Here is the solution. We are given the number 6 power n. You divide 6 into prime factors. 6 can be written as 2 into 3. Therefore, 6 power n is 2 into 3 whole power n. But the question is, we have to check whether 6 power n is end with 0. Here the factors of 6 are only 2 and 3. But in order to get 0 at the end, 0 means it should be either the multiple of 10. If it is a multiple of 10, 10 is nothing but 2 into 5. Therefore, 2 and 5 should be the factors. In any number, if 2 and 5 are the factors, then that number may end with 0. But here in 6, the factors are 2 and 3. But 5 is not a factor of 6. Since 5 is not a factor of 6, 2 and 5 are not there as factors of 6. It is not end with 0. To end with 0, we should have 2 and 5. But 5 is not a factor of 6. Therefore, 6 power n can't end with the digit 0 for any natural number n. Question number 4. Explain why 7 into 11 into 13 plus 13 and 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 plus 5 are composite numbers. I shall repeat. Explain why 7 into 11 into 13 plus 13 and 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 plus 5 are composite numbers. Here is the solution. Let us consider the first bit. 7 into 11 into 13 plus 13. Here this is one expression and this is other expression. You can find 13 in both. Therefore take 13 common. If we take 13 common, then 7 into 11 are there in the first space, and this is 13. You took already 13 common, therefore 1 is there, as 13 is nothing but 13 into 1. You took already 13 common, therefore 1. This is 13 into 7 11 77 plus 1. This is 13 into 78. For this product, this whole number can be written as 13 into 78. If you observe this, it has 1 as a factor, and it has the whole product as a factor, and 13 is a factor, and 78 is also a factor, and besides this there are 2 and other factors are also there. Therefore there are more than 2 factors. Since there are more than 2 factors, this given number is a composite number. And second bit, 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 1 plus 5, and again you take 5 common now. 5, if you take 5 common, then you have 7 into 6 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. If we take 5 common from 5 into 1, we have 1. This is 5 times of. If you multiply 7 into 6 into 4 into 3 into 2, you will get 1008 plus 1. This is 5 into 1009. Again, besides 1 and the whole number, this 5 and 1009 are also factors. Therefore, the given number has more than 2 factors and it is a composite number. What is meant by composite number, students? Good. Composite number means it should have more than 2 factors. Any number with more than 2 factors is called composite number. Then how can you call a number which is having only 2 factors? Okay. The number with only 2 factors is called prime number. Then is there any number with less than 2 factors? Good. 1 is the number with less than 2 factors. 1 has only 1 factor. Therefore 1 is neither prime nor composite. Now look at question number 5. How will you show that 17 into 11 into 2 plus 17 into 11 into 5 is a composite number, and explain. In the same model you can do this also. Here the given question is 17 into 11 into 2 plus 17 into 11 into 5. Here if you observe these two values, 17 into 11 is common. Therefore it is 17 into 11 into here this is 2 plus this is 5, 2 plus 5. 17 into 11 into 2 plus 5 is 7. Therefore the given number is written as 17 into 11 into 7. For this 1 is a factor, 7 is a factor, 11 is a factor, 17 is a factor. How many factors? Good. There are more than 2 factors. Since the given number has more than 2 factors, it is a composite number. Now question number 6. What is the last digit of 6 power 100? Here 6 power 1 is 6. If you find 6 square means 6 into 6 is 36. 6 cube, 6 into 6 into 6 is 216. And if you find 6 power 4, it is 1296. Like this. If you observe 6 power 1 and with 6, 6 square units digit is 6, 6 cube units digit is 6, 6 power 4 units digit is 6, and so on. Therefore, the last digit of 6 power 100 is 6 only. And if you have any doubts, you can post them in the comment section. Thank you one and all.